Hey, tribe. Today we are talking all about boundaries with family and friends during the holidays. So let's get started. Hey, tribe. Now we are continuing our series about boundaries during the holidays with family members and friends. We talked all about having boundaries with yourself, with your spouse, and now we want to talk about family and friends. And I know this is like a little touchy for some people because our friends and our family are highly influential in our lives, whether we want to admit it or not, right? We all have that person that can influence us to go places we don't want to go for the sake of family and keeping the peace and all that stuff like that. But the truth is that the more that you give in, the more you begin to be resentful. It is important to have boundaries in place so that we can teach people how to have the best relationship with us. And to me, that is a great definition of boundaries as well, is that boundaries are a tool or whatever it is that we use to help teach people how to treat us and to have the best relationship with us. So that's why boundaries are so important. And it's not to say that I'm going to put up this wall in front of me and I don't want to be bothered, or that we're just going to be nasty people towards other people and stuff like that. It is far from that. We have to teach people how to treat us so that we can have the best relationship. But we also want to respect what their wishes are as well. And that's why we can't get upset when other people uphold their boundaries, because they want to be safe in the relationship with us. They want to be safe in all of their relationships just like we do. So we want to make sure that we're considering that also when we are creating our boundaries. So, when it comes to friends and family, it is important that when it comes to these events and, going over other people's houses for the holidays, we want to make sure that we are setting a time limit that coincides with our capacity. Because a lot of times, it's cool when we go to some places and we're having a great time and we want to spend some hours there. And then there are some places that are really uncomfortable for us, and it may have to do with the people that are there or the people that aren't there that we may be missing, or whatever the situation may be. Even if you're grieving or whatever, you can set a time limit to the spaces that you're going to. Because the truth is, baby, be happy that I came, that I showed up, that I came and showed my face and put my face in the place. You know what I'm saying? So if it is giving you a hard time, there is no need for you to sit in places where you're not welcome, you don't feel comfortable, and you're just like, this is overwhelming for me. So set a time limit ahead of time before you even get there, because you already know, like, come on, we grown. We know the spaces that we don't want to spend a lot of time in. So it is okay to say that, you know what, when I go here, I'm going for no more than 2 hours. And if you end up feeling more comfortable to stay longer, do that. And if you're not, then make sure that you're just like, okay, I'm sticking to my time limit. You have done your part and you have shown your face. And then also take somebody with you that can help you to be more comfortable, if at all possible. Of course, if you have your spouse there, your spouse, you should be able to lean on your spouse. But if you don't have your spouse with you, make sure that you take a trusted friend or a family member that you know that can help you through the situation. So make sure that you are enlisting people to support you, and that is there to help you in your capacity when it comes to how you can deal with these situations. I also want you to remember that you can only control you. You are the only person that you can control. So if you have to stand your ground, do that when necessary. If you have to be like, look, this is too much, make sure that you're doing that. And also, when people come outside of a box, know that that is just them. You cannot control the responses and the reactions of others, but what you can do is control you. We don't want to act out of control like other people do. We don't want to misplace anger or to just come out of a box on people. It's not even necessary. And I know that sometimes it's hard when it comes to certain people to not let them get us outside of our character. But the truth is that what we do is actually a reflection of us, right? So we want to make sure that we are being our best selves and knowing when to stand our ground, but also doing it in a way where we're not coming out of a box. Sometimes, well, I ain't gonna say sometimes. Most of the time, it's not necessary. Um, Even if you have to check another family member, it is a way to do it. So make sure that you are being poised when you're doing what you're doing, but also remember that you can only control you so that you're not getting upset with people. Let people be who they are and let them be who they are where they are when necessary. Next is to know when to say no to things that are unhealthy for you. Don't let grandma pile your plate up this high because she loved to see you eat when you know that you are going through a weight loss journey or you're having health issues. You don't want to raise your blood pressure, or whatever other issues you may have. Like me, I got digestive issues. I don't play around with that. So I know how to set my plate and have boundaries when it comes to my plate, but also knowing when to say no to other invitations as well. If you know that you are on a sobriety journey and you're not strong enough yet, don't go to places where all your friends are going to be doing heavy drinking and stuff like that. We have to know how to protect ourselves and protect our space because we don't want to fall off and then want to blame everybody else because we fell off, when the truth is that we have a right to say no to certain situations and certain things. And we don't have to be rude about it, but it's okay. I declined this invitation. I appreciate the invitation, but this is not where I am right now. However it is that you need to say it, make sure that you are saying no to the things that you don't want to do. If you don't feel like going to brunch this time, that's okay. If you don't feel like going to particular events, it is okay for you to say no. Because if you like me, honey, I'm cool in my house. I be chilling. I make our home so comfortable that you never want to leave. I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, but it is okay for you to say no to certain things. So be okay with saying no, even to your friends, and they know that you love them, and make sure that you reiterate that as well, and make sure that you reciprocate that as well to the friends that have to say no. They may be going through something and just need a little space, but be open to them coming back whenever it is that they need to, because our relationships are not one-sided. So we want to make sure that we're not being one-sided in our relationships, but giving everybody their space and opportunity to do what they need to do and uphold their boundaries and do what's best for them. And lastly, again, I probably said this in every video, but the truth is that you have to take time to decompress. Ooh, the holiday season can be something else personally. And I'm going to talk about this when I talk about boundaries in the workplace, but I feel like you need a vacation from the vacation. So even if you took time off, honey, take an extra day to recuperate, to regenerate, to renew your mind and prepare yourself for what is to come, to prepare yourself to go back to work, to prepare yourself for whatever it is that you have coming up. Make sure that you're taking time to decompress. And a lot of times this means just spending some time alone, even if you have to do it in the wee hours of the night, but make sure that you are taking time to journal. Make sure that you're taking time to rest your mind. However you need to do that. That could be reading a book. That could be doing absolutely nothing. That could be taking a nap. Whatever it is, make sure that you're decompressing so that you can renew yourself and prepare yourself for what is to come. Because one thing that vacations can do can be exhausting at the end because we don't take enough time to, okay, now I'm back. It's hard to just dive right back into it. So make sure that you're taking that time and just enjoy the holidays. Whether you celebrate or not, this is a time to really reconnect with yourself, reconnect with God, to really see what direction is my life headed in, to be reflective and to get back on track. That's what I personally believe. And it's a time to rejuvenate. A lot of times throughout the year, we're pushing, hustling really hard, but we never realize that part of the journey is making sure that we are getting the proper rest. So make sure that you are resting and that you're rejuvenating. And then I hope that you are preparing for what is to come. What is it that you want your life to look like? What do you want your relationships with your friends and family to look like? This is a good time to reflect on that, but to also implement the changes that you want to make, if any, in your relationships. And that way, when we go into the new year, we are going into the new year with joy in our relationships and taking people with us that need to come and leaving behind those that don't. And it just be like that sometimes, as we grow, other people grow too. Sometimes we grow apart, sometimes we grow closer together. So make sure that you're nurturing your familial and your friendships, because our relationships are important. We don't get through this life being alone. We may have came into this world alone and we may leave alone, but we thrive in relationships. That's what help us to grow. Relationships correct us, they nurture us, and they help us to grow, So I hope that these tips were helpful. What are some other things that you do to set boundaries in your relationships? I would love to hear from you in the comments. I hope that you have been enjoying this series thus far. We will be talking about boundaries in the workplace in our final video, which is the next video. So I hope that you've been enjoying this, and let me know what other topics that you would love for me to talk about. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you are liking the video so YouTube can share it with others so that we can continue to grow this channel and to grow each other. Okay. I love you guys to life. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.